You already know the importance of planning ahead, especially when your significant other is a bougie-ass musician who needs pampering even from beyond the grave. Stop putting off making burial arrangements. Get started today at Decomposers, rated the #1 luxury cemetery for musicians. Request a pre-need arrangement planner today to pick out all desired amenities with one of our representatives. Decomposers, let the music live on. Because you're dead.
Okay, nerds, let's go!
That made the that just barely did not make the top 8. That was just outside the top 8.
So it was number 9.
Food, but with that final disclaimer at the end, how could it?
Because you're dead.
Because you're dead.
It's because you're dead.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's funny how you wrote that about yourself.
I'm not a bougie ass.
Musician.
Says the guy with the MacBook on the table.
What? What's wrong with having a MacBook on the table?
Just saying, dog.
Is that a thing? Yeah. Should I not have a MacBook on the table? All right, what are we talking about here? The Batman?
The Batman foo.
All right.
And you know what?
No spoilers, right?
No spoilers. We'll try to keep this as spoiler-free as possible.
Okay.
At least until next week. After that, you're on your own, fuckers. But you know what? It did not disappoint.
You know, you brought up a good point yesterday as the movie was ending. It wasn't an experience like when we saw Batman v Superman and we immediately had the desire to drink
our sorrows away. We were just disheveled, hated our lives. Like, why did we waste our time? This was everything we had thought it would be, and a little more.
Yes,
a little more. Yeah.
All right, so a couple things. I went in having already heard a few reviews. One of the more notable reviews was from, I think, to be the Batman fan, one of the bigger Batman fans out there, Mr. Ralph Garman, formerly of K-Rock's Kevin and Bean show, now currently doing the Ralph Report as a podcast. And he was like real good friends with Adam West. Like, he grew up with Batman. He has a specific room in his house called the Bat Cave where he does his podcast, similarly to the one we're sitting in right now, but like lined with fucking just everything Batman. So this guy's a huge Batman fan. So and I'm gonna say I don't agree with a lot of what he said. So let me just preface that so you don't think that I'm sharing his opinion. Got it. So one thing that he was saying is that this was a very emo Bruce Wayne. The Batman, that's fine. He can be as sulky, as fucking brooding as he wants because it's Batman, right? He doesn't have to show emotion as Batman. But Robert Pattinson, he says that Robert Pattinson's Batman was way too depressing or just serious. And I don't think that way. I think that the scenes written for Bruce Wayne in this particular movie did not call for him to be that jovial playboy that he can be.
Yeah, in no way whatsoever was that the intention.
And let's give it a little bit more context, too. Let's also remember that this isn't a spoiler. I think they say it, or this is known. But this is like he's 2 years into being Batman. Right? So, Steph, you brought this up yesterday when we were talking about this, that he hasn't established his rhythm yet as Batman in balancing that out with Bruce Wayne. So yeah, you can see he's tired. He's fucking he's getting grumpy with Alfred.
He's a recluse. I mean, you know, people are surprised when they even see him out in public. Which
can't get an appointment with him.
There are a lot of comic books that do reflect that kind of thing. You know, I mean, there are plenty of stories which I will reference at the end of this segment. And this movie, what I need to remind people about is this movie is not a Batman origin movie. It's a Rogues Gallery origin movie. This movie is pretty much the beginning of his Rogues Gallery building up. And Riddler's the very first one of his kind, and you're seeing that now in some of the trailers even.
There's mob bosses, there's troublemakers, but the Riddler's the first one to go big with it.
You get the same characters from all the other Batmans, like Carmine Falcone, Sal Maroni. Yeah. We all know who they are. Penguin's in there, you know, he's right-hand man to Sal Maroni, or Falcone, which matches up to like Gotham, what we recently saw. So the benefit, Matt Reeves really benefited by all of this other material and stuff pre-existing that he doesn't need to explain anymore. Now he can kind of input those, or, you know, take the elements of those and just add them without having to have a drawn out explanation or origin for these people.
We know who these people are. Now let's run with it.
Yeah, and let's see who they are in this universe. Let's see how they're affecting this particular storyline and where their storylines can go. And I think Matt Reeves, I love his, you know, directing, especially his Planet of the Apes movies. Like, those were all amazing, and I had faith that he was going to do a great job with this movie, and he did. In my opinion, this is a great Batman movie, and it's going to be a trilogy, just an isolated trilogy, like in a bubble.
Okay.
We have to remember, it's not going to be a part of the extended Marvel Cinematic Universe. This is very much
DC.
DC. I'm sorry.
Shit. Yeah, we're just so used to saying something successful.
There's so much Marvel shit that's more successful. It's really hard to get a good successful DC property, and boom, we got another one, and it's gonna kind of be similar, I feel, to like when Christopher Nolan had his run. You know, it's gonna just be isolated. It's just gonna be good cinema. Good comic book cinema.
Yeah.
I like how this definitely had a different take than the other Batman movies. It really didn't feel like a superhero movie to me. No. It felt extremely detective with that element of Batman, because that fear was always the theme.
Oh yeah, the score, everything.
Yeah,
kept you in it.
The score, the filter on the movie, very dark.
Yeah, very dark.
The storyline, and then you feel the emotions coming through each character.
Yeah,
they were portrayed very, very well.
Yeah, they did a great job. All the actors all around. The story was great. This movie was not shot, one of the very few Batman movies nowadays, or even comic book movies nowadays, not shot in IMAX. Matt Reeves purposely shot it in Dolby Digital, which, as you can see from the aesthetic and the filter, it's kind of what it needed. This movie was not necessarily an IMAX movie.
Right.
You know, it was very much just sit down and just enjoy the ride.
I think, I don't know. I would have been curious to see it in a 4:3 ratio as opposed to the 16:9. Or
the issue with IMAX, when you do IMAX, type of shots, is that you really have to lend it to larger shots, and this
there's a lot of tight shots here.
Yeah, a lot of this movie is a lot of tight shots, a lot of, there's not a lot of motion long shots. So that's why,
unless it's Batman walking through like a tunnel.
Right. But
God damn, dude.
Even
30 seconds in, bro.
It's still a still camera. The camera's not moving,
Yeah.
So but those scenes too, like how they portrayed Gotham, we're not going to go too much into spoilers, but essentially they portray Gotham as like this destitute, just crime-ridden city, which it's supposed to be. And
it's like how we think of Detroit these days.
Yeah, sadly, yes. And then you see that once nightfall hits, all of the criminals and stuff start to kind of be wary of just the shadows. Like, Batman may not even be there, but just the fact that the shadows are there and like they see a signal that they're just kind of like, oh shit, like I gotta run, we gotta go. And
that's the fear.
That's the fear, and that's what obviously that's what Batman's trying to instill in the city. And then you finally get him introduced, which I like that they waited so long to actually show him in the movie.
Yeah.
They let all the other stuff build, and I thought that was great.
Well, and you didn't see him in the suit. You saw him first as Bruce, just kind of out and about on his motorcycle.
Right, in his like incognito mode, just kind of just chilling, And I really liked that. In this movie too, there's a lot of voiceover, a lot of inner monologue, which was a nice touch because that's exactly how it is in the comics.
Yeah.
He talks to himself.
That's who he's talking to him.
Yeah. He's a detective. He's trying to figure it out in his own mind, trying to get the wheels and the cogs moving.
Right.
And they've never done that in any of the Batman movies. They haven't. If you watch every single Batman movie, there's never been one of an inner monologue.
Well, The only one that came close was Adam West when he's trying to figure something out, and he banters with back and forth with Robin.
Right. But there's no,
there's no internal monologue.
There's no internal monologue.
He's just thinking out loud.
Yeah. I mean, and that's
More
how
of a brainstorm
how
sesh.
they worked around with it in the 60s. That was their way to kind of have those inner monologue panels. But no, this was the best medium for the best way for them to do that, and it was fantastic.
One of the comic books that immediately came to mind before even watching this movie was Batman Year One.
And
Oh my God,
Yeah,
there's a lot of similarities.
jumping
Cool.
the gun over here.
Just
Damn.
that. No, I beat you to it because you
damn
talk
you.
too fucking much. I'm just kidding.
Damn you. Damn you. Well, on that note, since Steph kind of ruined this next bit,
Uh-oh.
No.
I actually had the 10 best comic books to read along with the Batman movie.
Oh, to better understand?
To better understand, or at least get a sense of where a lot of these homages and a lot of the storyline elements come from.
So is it fair to say that if you, I don't know, maybe Ralph didn't read this he has to have, but
There's chances are he may not have read a few because a few of them are newer or new-ish storylines. For instance, the very first one, obviously, as Steph alluded to, Batman Year One, which takes place a year or two into Batman's career in Gotham.
Yeah.
Jim Gordon is still a detective.
Lieutenant, I think.
He's
He is
a
a lieutenant.
He's a lieutenant at this point, right?
he's a damn good cop.
And then obviously the cops are wary of Batman. And then the Rogues Gallery hasn't necessarily been built yet. It's still primarily him going up against the mob.
I'm a damn good cop.
The Rogues haven't been built. It's just him going up against the mob, Falcone, Maroni, the name brand storylines. And then the next one is Batman The Long Halloween, which The Long Halloween has been adapted into a couple of other movies too. The Dark Knight Rises, where pretty much that's where we finally get the cadre of villains. As the old man in Peacemaker would have said, we get introduced into the Mad Hatter, Penguin, Poison Ivy, and Catwoman in that particular story.
Yeah.
And then the next ones are Batman Ego. I'm not fully familiar with this one, but this is supposed to be like a take place in like the 40s. Then the next one after that's Catwoman When in Rome. It's more of a Catwoman origin story. It involves Selena Kyle and Riddler going to Italy to get up and take down the Falcone crime family.
Okay.
So that's where you get the backstory on where Selena is in this particular movie. I'm not going to spoil anything on that. And then in this movie too, there is a Batman 0 Year. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that storyline, Steph. Yes.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
this movie is very much adapted to that because what 0 Year is. This 0 Year is decades removed from Year One's publication. Zack Snyder and Greg Capullo attempt their own origin story with Batman 0 Year. Set during Batman's early period, Gotham City falls into ruin after the Riddler detonates the reservoir,
Oh, shit.
flooding the city.
Okay.
In the wasteland,
Yes.
Bruce Wayne grapples with his vigilante intention. He's molded himself into a perfect crime-fighting specimen, but he could not have possibly predicted an apocalypse such as this. And pretty much it just shows Batman finally coming to grips with, all right, I can't just be a bruiser or a guy that's beating the shit out of people all the time. I got to use my brain now because I'm
Yeah.
actually going up against a pretty formidable foe, which the Riddler has always been intellectually speaking.
Right.
But the dumbass just can't help but compulsively tip off. What
Yeah, he
he's
gets in
actually
his own way sometimes.
every single
Yeah.
time, as you see in this movie in itself too.
So that leads me to this question, more talking about reviewing this movie. What did you think about Paul Dano's interpretation of the Riddler?
Well, Fu, I'll get to that after I get to these last
Okay,
5
okay.
comic books that I did list 10, Fu.
Be over here,
I'd be
dude.
remiss if I did not list these 10.
Stop
A few
interrupting.
moments later.
Well, there's Batman Hush, which was referenced. There was a reference
Right?
to Hush
Yeah.
in this movie, if you guys go and watch it.
Watch it.
Batman Broken City, again, there's other elements in the movie that you'll watch to that. Batman Shaman, Batman the Imposter, which is actually a direct tie-in to the movie, Batman the Imposter. So you guys should definitely go out and read that.
All right.
Batman Black and White. And then, that's pretty much it for those guys. And definitely go out to read Year One, 0 Year. and The Long Halloween, those are pretty much the most notable ones. Definitely, like Hush, you don't necessarily need to because there's only a couple of elements in that.
Right.
Another one is Batman Earth 1. And in that Batman, his mom is an Arkham. Or she, like, very much, which is what is in this story. They go more into the Wayne history, and that Bruce Wayne is emo. He's the emo Bruce Wayne and that's the one where I'm like, okay, Ralph hasn't really read that comic then, because that's where
he has and he didn't like it.
Or he didn't like it. Yeah, and very much so that may have been the case. Yeah. I'm not saying it wasn't the best, but it was definitely a divisive Batman.
Yeah.
But Fusi, let's start with your review and then your thoughts on some of the cast. You did allude to Paul Dano's performance.
Yeah, well, I wanted to ask everybody what they thought about his performance. I thought that it was a little too much. He this is one thing that I agree with Ralph and his take on it. I don't think that he was aggressively like overacting, but he was chewing a little scenery. He was nibbling it at least. There was bite marks all over it for sure. But at the same time, it's not like we're talking about a sane person either. So
Right.
how is a randomly insane person supposed to act? How everybody's a little different.
Right, and Paul Dano does.
He does
insane.
crazy.
He does crazy very well.
Yeah.
Look at There Will Be Blood,
Yeah.
and that's kind of that's the performance I expected from him, though.
Yeah.
At least for me, like I kind of expected that.
Yeah, and I
just
get
'cause of
that. I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
At his choices here.
Yeah.
And the only other thing that you see, with every other person in the Rogues Gallery, there was something that tied them to the OG way of perceiving that character. Catwoman had her tight black outfit. The Penguin, of course, he was wearing a suit, etc. But the Riddler, the main villain in this movie, looked very little. He looked more like freaking Scarecrow with how he was dressed throughout the movie rather than, like what we're used to looking at him.
I would say
it's a great departure from Jim Carrey. That's all I'm saying.
The costume choice for the Riddler in this adaptation was a little questionable when I first saw it. I was skeptical, like, whoa, what are they doing with, like,
they completely abandoned the green element.
well, no, not necessarily.
No, it was still green.
The green was still in there.
Yeah,
it was
but
just the filter, the dark filter kind of dulled it a little, but the green was still there. The thing is that we don't have the top hat, we don't have the cane,
At least the derby hat.
Yeah, but I think we don't need that though.
No, I don't care about the hat. I really don't.
I think coming from where this Riddler came from, that would not have been in character.
Yeah.
That
The aesthetic they
the
had.
formal suit and the top hat.
Yeah.
So getting what we got in terms of wardrobe, I think for this particular movie and this character was cinematically appropriate.
I would have made different choices.
Well,
Well, that's just because you have different style than him.
right, Foo. Right.
Right. You have to think of like what he has available to him. He's still trying to cover up his face.
It's still early on
Yeah.
too, man. Like he hasn't even fully developed his full Riddler persona. Like he just started filling that out, and he's gonna grow even more, especially as we see at the end of the movie, towards the end of the movie.
It's definitely a no for me, dog.
Well, Fu, I'm sure it's not gonna be the same suit next time he's here, because he's obviously.
I would
gonna
hope
be coming
not,
back.
Josh. I would hope
Do
not.
you remember how many times, not in this movie, but how many times Batman had to change his suit before he figured it out? And you're not giving him shit for it? He just has to magically get it on the first try?
Yeah. Dude, I have to sit. I have to sit for 3 hours, dude. Just give it to me. Just give me the fucking. I don't want. I don't want.
No.
I don't want I don't want the excuse of there's gonna be a sequel. No, I give it to you now.
Hold on. What's your rating for this movie?
We're not there yet.
No. We're doing this now. I need to know this now.
All right,
You're really hanging up on this Riddler costume thing.
Furthering my review, and then I'll provide my rating, Josh.
Okay.
This movie was an awesome detective movie. You got all the elements of your detective movie. It was more of that than a Batman movie. Does not make it a bad movie. Does it make it a bad Batman movie? No, I just think it just makes it another cool, down the middle movie. the issue I take with this is that because it was sold as such, as a Batman movie, along with the Rogues Gallery, it had 3 hours to do it. It never grabbed me like any of the other movies, and that could be because it's a detective movie, and we're not used to seeing Batman in this situation, in this kind of light perspective, this internal monologue kind of Batman, especially a Batman as I don't think it cracks a smile the whole time. It's like you're watching the first season of Attack on Titan. Everybody's just yelling and screaming, and there's no smiles.
Why would Batman smile?
Exactly. Anyway,
And you want that from him?
I mean, if it's Bruce Wayne, I don't know.
So, okay, so you want Bruce Wayne to smile or do you want Batman to smile?
I
Because
guess-
you're confusing me.
No, don't get me on a tangent. What I'm saying is that it never just I don't know the answer to this. I don't know how they would have done it for me to grab me in a way and uplift me, and as in saying, "Fuck yeah, this is Batman." He has some cool scenes in there. I don't know, maybe it's the year 2 element where all of his gadgets aren't as thought out and and
Fuck
thorough.
are you talking about?
What is he talking about?
He had
This guy-
contact lenses that were pretty much computers.
Yeah, those are pretty dope.
What is he?
But I'm saying I don't know. I never felt that. I didn't feel excited.
Okay, other than that hook, what else was the problem?
7.4 out of 10.
What?
What?
Really?
7.4 out of 10.
What?
Yeah.
What a douche.
Good movie.
7.4 out of 10.
You can leave now.
All right. Now you guys.
Okay. Well,
Josh.
first off, I love the movie. It did captivate me from start to finish. I was immediately engaged because
You're so mad.
I am
Live it, dude.
I'm beside myself right now.
Wow.
Grounds for divorce.
You guys are so mad.
Dude, I'm besides myself.
What
right now.
happened? He didn't like the Batman.
He just didn't. He
just
didn't like it.
That's
I
a
couldn't
solid
get it.
score.
That is not, dude. That is
No.
not for this
No.
particular movie.
Okay.
I think the hangups you have for this movie are a little petty, in my opinion.
You think so?
I think so. They come from an area of pettiness. But anyway, let me continue. Again, I did not mind. There were some liberties. The movie did kind of have longer moments, and it kind of cut the way a lot of the scenes are. They jump from next scene to next scene, but they were constantly solving the everything as it was
Right.
going. So they didn't have. I will give you that they didn't have too much mystery for the movie. I mean, there was still enough. There were some elements of surprise, of suspense. You still had the Batman elements where you see that he's literally making all of these fucking gadgets. Like, even though, there are a lot of makeshift stuff.
as a workbench.
He's making that. He's a gearhead.
Yeah.
You see him making his own car, making the bike. So you see all those elements of Batman.
Right, which is pretty typical. You've seen them in every movie.
In every movie,
Yeah.
even in the comics, you see Batman as a recluse dickhead that doesn't want to eat, doesn't want to listen to Alfred. He's always like that. Alfred has to pretty much threaten him to eat sometimes. So you see a lot of that. You see the interactions. Dude, in the comics, you do not see a lot of Playboy Bruce Wayne. You don't. I don't understand why people think that there's so much Playboy Bruce Wayne in Batman. There's not. It's not. Remember,
Yeah.
he does not think of himself as Bruce Wayne. He is Batman. So he's Batman 24/7. And he just puts on sometimes a fake facade when he has to do some public
fundraisers or something.
fundraisers, and that's usually the only time you see him. You don't really see him. Like, he'll have the occasional girl, but that's usually at the very beginning, and usually that girl ends up being a major part of the storyline in the comics.
Well, and I think that people have that perspective or that expectation because of how the movies have portrayed
and that's a little bit of the problem is that a lot of the other movies, and this movie is trying to break away from that. It's not a Bruce Wayne movie; it's a Batman movie.
Okay.
It's not. There's maybe 5 scenes with Bruce Wayne interacting with the general public and population in this
Right.
entire movie. Otherwise, it's all Batman. And even Matt Reeves says it's not a Bruce Wayne movie. Remember, this is a Batman movie. So when you're gonna go watch this movie, think about it that way when you go in. This is a Batman movie.
Yeah.
This is the detective movie, and it's very much you get the sense. I thought the cast, the ensemble, all did amazing jobs with their roles. Some people did not like Colin Farrell's Penguin. I didn't mind it because it kind of gave me elements of like Gotham's Penguin when he's just that little stoolie that's hanging around trying to leech off of the mob bosses. You know, I liked Catwoman. I actually loved Zoe Kravitz's, Selena Kyle.
I liked her. Yeah.
See, that was amazing. That's the best Selena Kyle I've seen since Michelle Pfeiffer's. And amazing role between her dynamic and, Robert Pattinson's Batman.
Yes.
I thought Robert Pattinson was a great Batman in this movie.
Yeah.
I loved him, and I thought I had zero expectation for him. The bar was very low for me, and
I remember you not liking that news so much.
I did not, because I didn't see the fit, but I was open-minded because I always kind of referenced. I thought the same thing about Heath Ledger. Heath Ledger proved me wrong.
Yeah.
Robert Pattinson.
Everybody wrong.
You proved everyone wrong, and I feel like Robert Pattinson proved everyone wrong with this particular movie too. So
historically, they've made interesting choices for Batman.
They have. Even Michael Keaton was a very controversial Mr. Mom
At the time, yeah.
Yeah, not a lot of people like, there's no way Michael Keaton can be a serious, dark character. Boom, dude. He like blew everyone away with that first one. So, again, this movie, I was a little questioning the Riddler. Again, I did not fully endorse the Riddler costume when I first saw it, but watching this movie, it grew on me because it's like, oh, okay, I see what they're going with the aesthetic. It kind of fits what they're doing here. Yeah. I liked a lot of the little Easter eggs in the movie. Overall, for me, Foo, I give the movie a 9 out of 10.
Wow.
Yes, I give this Batman movie a 9 out of 10.
Which is, I'm looking at the audience score, 91. So you're there.
So that is an appropriate score.
Yes, not your bullshit 7.4 fucking bullshit.
I'll watch it again.
I had the same exact fucking arguments as you, and I don't understand. I don't understand, Foo. You've disappointed me greatly.
I think Marvel has ruined me.
No, well, that's a whole different.
No, I think what I think. No. What I think it is that you still have that G baby DC movie prejudice. you have that built-in prejudice that for you just cannot put a DC movie past
that's
8.
how I felt about my Dodgers for a long time when they weren't winning shit.
Your Dodgers?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's claimed them.
They're mine.
They're his and own.
Okay.
Fuck off. Douchebags. All right, Steph, you're up.
What's your review?
I love this movie. Just from everything that I've already said, the dark filtering, the cast to me, I felt was just spot on. Like Robert Pattinson looks like the Batman when he's in the Batman suit. Like the jawline is just, oh my God, he looks like him. And the inner thoughts that we were able to hear, even when you're watching the movie, trying to solve all of these riddles, they actually put it on scene for you. So as an audience member, you can think about like, oh, can I solve it before he does? And just all the little clues or, the murder weapons. It's like, oh, what are these little pieces that you can try to put together? Yeah. And so that's something a lot of people don't think about watching this movie. But since you're going to watch it again, try to look for all of these clues.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be looking for any little thing I may have missed now. Now that I know what to be expecting. So yeah, I'm gonna be eagle-eyed in this next watching.
But one thing I will say that irked me was the use of that song, that Nirvana song.
Oh, the Nirvana cover that they've had.
Yeah, I walked out of that movie saying Kurt Cobain's estate got a big ass paycheck from this movie.
Yeah, usually they don't use songs like that more than once in a movie. I thought that was a strange move.
They turned it into the score of the movie.
Yeah,
like it heavily influenced
so
the music.
It really wasn't that song playing, but it was just a couple of notes,
orchestra
with different
doing that
ideations. Yeah,
that chord progression.
Yeah, and so that was just problematic for me. Other than that, solid storyline, love the characters and the costumes. I'd give it a 9.5 out of 10.
Oh,
damn,
that's
okay.
Yeah.
See, I was hesitant to go 9.5, but I'm glad you did. So
yeah,
that way we balanced out, Foo.
It would have been
for your outlier ass.
7.
And you know what, man? The critics are giving it an 85%. So I need to watch this again.
You do.
I think I need to watch this again. Maybe not take an edible and just watch it, normally.
There were a couple of times because we were on the reclining seats, and I thought, "Oh my god, he's falling asleep." Because your head was like leaned back, and I'm just like, I kept looking over. I'm just like, "Did this guy just fall asleep?"
He was just squinting. He was just focusing.
I'm just
really
I'm just
tightly.
trying to listen to it so I can, hear it with my mind.
I may change my mind. I don't know that I'll get to 9, but
If you don't get to Foo, we're not asking you to get to 9.
Mm-hmm.
We're asking you to at least get to 8.5, dude. Match the critics, dude.
That may be okay. I'll watch it again.
Try to match the critics.
I'll watch it again. I was gonna anyway.
I was gonna.
Yeah.
Oh, what? Okay.
I'll let you guys know.
Yeah. I mean, Foo, you may be asking too where this movie ranks amongst the other Batman movies.
Okay.
As far as rating, and this is the Metacritic ratings for all the other Batman movies. So Batman 1989 was A, Batman Returns B, Forever was an A minus. It was actually pretty good when you go back and watch it. It did have a little too much camp, but Val Kilmer did a great job as Batman. Batman and Robin C plus.
Yeah.
So this is solid when they give them a C plus.
Okay.
Batman Begins an A, Dark Knight A, Dark Knight Rises A, Batman vs Superman Dawn of Justice B. That's a little skeptical for me on that one. That should have been a C there, but whatever. Lego Batman A minus, the Justice League movie B plus, and then for this movie it got an A minus grade. Which would match my 90. So, Foo, people.
So,
always-
you're just copying off of comicbook.com's paper.
It's interesting.
Without their homework.
Without actually reading their homework.
That list is interesting considering it placed Lego Batman in there with live action.
It's a Batman. It's just any iteration.
But then
of
what
Batman.
about all the other animated Batman movies that are so good?
There's
Well, those
too
were
many.
not released in theaters. With the exception of Mask of the Phantasm, that was the only. That one, I think Sub-Zero
They were in theaters?
No, Batman Mask of the Phantasm was in theaters because I do remember seeing that in theaters as a kid. But Sub-Zero was direct to video. After that, they started doing direct to videos.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Foos. Yeah. So, I believe that's it for me in Geeking Out. Do you guys got anything you want to throw in?
Well, I wanted to just point out that Futurama is coming back. Hulu struck a deal with the cast and crew of Futurama, and they are planning on coming back.
John DiMaggio, Foo?
John DiMaggio had been holding out for some time.
I'm not watching it.
And that's what a lot of people were saying, at least in social media. If he's not going to be, which he does the voice for Bender,
And a lot of other characters.
and but mainly Bender.
yeah.
Bender is really why you tune into Futurama. I mean, they put together some good storylines with the characters in there, but Bender is the comic relief to an already funny show.
It's the trio of Bender, Fry, and Leela. It's that dynamic between those three that builds this whole show.
And John DiMaggio had been holding out because they weren't paying him, and he was already busy doing other projects, so this was not going to hurt him. But if he was going to say no, and he was just going to wish him luck, and what they were calling for 20 episodes, which could be split into a couple of seasons or just one really long season. But without Bender, I don't think it would survive more than just that 20 episode order that they got from Hulu.
No, it probably would have been widely panned, and there would have been probably a lot of negative backlash for that. So, Foo, what's the conclusion? Is he coming?
It all came down to pay negotiations, though DiMaggio made it clear that he doesn't believe that he should be the only one to be paid more. He believes that the entire cast should be deserving a pay bump. So it looks like the negotiations, enough of it went in favorably where he's going to be back.
Nice.
So, he says, I'm so damn grateful for the love and support of fans and colleagues alike during this whole time, especially my wife, Kate, and I cannot wait to get back to work with my Futurama family. Bender Gate is finally over, so put it on the back of a shelf behind Christmas decorations, or maybe in the kitchen drawer with all the other crap you put in there, like old unusable crazy glue, or maybe even put it in a jar you say farts in. Whatever floats your boat, I don't care. You get the picture. I'm back, baby. Bite my shiny metal ass.
I'm back, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. Then I definitely will be tuning in.
Yeah, man. I think that Hulu's doing some good things. I mean, they brought back Animaniacs, not in the way I would have hoped, but they, I still liked it. They cut out all of the peripheral characters is what I don't like about this new Animaniacs. You still have Pinky and the Brain, but you don't have like your Buttons and Mindy or...
I love Buttons.
Yeah.
Buttons.
And et al.
Okay, I love you. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Yeah. They still have Pinky and the Brain, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They still have that.
Okay.
But that's it.
Yeah.
So it's just Animaniacs and Pinky and the Brain. But anyway, I think we'll finish off with this last one. We haven't done this in a while. Doom scrolling with Steph.
Woo!
Yeah. What do you got for us today?
All right, this is a website that I came across.
Okay.
Just,
How did you come across said website?
So I was
Doom scrolling?
I was doom scrolling, right? I was just scrolling through the nets.
Yeah.
And this
interwebs.
website, I feel like it's better if you experience it on a laptop or desktop rather than your cell phone.
Okay.
So go to lomando.com. It's LOM as in Mark, AN as in Nancy, DO.com.
Okay. I'm there.
Okay. So it's going to pop up in
I have like this anime character. that just
anime style. It's all in Japanese, but you can translate it into English.
popped up. Okay. So should I be doing that? Translate to English?
Yes, translate
Okay.
to English.
And now it gives me this commercial. I assume that means cancel.
Yes.
Yeah, just
It's in
cancel it.
Japanese.
Okay. So it actually says Fancy Island.
Okay.
And it gives you a description of the girl, a little,
She has a tail.
chibi cat character.
Right.
And so if you click on her, it's going to take you to this other website. So it gives you, it says preparation before playing. So it's almost like a game
Okay.
that you're getting into. Gives you a little warning. And then if you want to continue, kind of scroll down and then start.
Here.
Right. There's a big start button. And so it's going to take you.
To easy access.
Oh, wait.
launch
No.
No,
it's
was
not
that
it.
the wrong start
that
button?
might have been the wrong start button.
Okay.
That one.
Yeah, click start.
No,
that's not it.
that's
No,
an
it's
ad.
download template. Is it that one? Free download?
No,
Start?
no. Those are ads.
What are you doing here?
What is happening? Why do you have all these ads up?
If you want
There's
to
not-
put the link from
pops
the...
up. What the fuck?
Okay,
This
just
is my
click on the
fault.
girl.
Christ.
Click on the girl. There you go. Okay. You just click on her twice.
I was just doing what you were telling me.
I didn't realize there was
Why am
that
I
many
being
ads.
yelled at?
Divorce.
7.4 stands.
Wow.
Divorce.
So it takes you to this really dark looking website with a couple double doors. And
Okay.
it's this is an interactive website. And so there are different areas. So if you click on the double doors,
Oh, what the hell?
it's super creepy.
Okay.
Let's go.
And so just click.
Now what?
Just click anywhere.
Okay.
What the...
There's
All right.
there's a picture, ominous music that you can hear.
Yeah.
Picture of a girl with her eyes, her bangs are covering her forehead.
Freaky shit.
If you're in a dark room, you should experience this because this is creepy. And
How
so
do I
there's
get out of here?
just go back on the browser.
No, go forward. Fuck it. What are you doing?
Well, how do you go forward?
Okay, so click. So there's 5 buttons on the left side. Just
okay.
click one.
All right.
What the fuck is that?
It's gonna get creepy.
Oh.
So there's
It's like a weird white face with blood coming out and a weird creepy ass smile.
yeah. So some of them they're just like dead end roads.
So is this
Okay.
one of. So I get to click on it.
So
I
you get to
guess.
click on it.
Oh, Jesus. Oh. People are driving in their cars, crashing.
Lower that shit.
Oh, all right. I may be done with this.
Okay.
Well, actually, I'm going to click on another
Click
one.
another one. No, you clicked on. Oh, whoa, it's a different one.
Oh,
But
now
now
loading.
it's loading.
Oh, now it's loading.
What
okay.
the hell is this?
So there's just some of the areas are kind of like dead end. You don't really get anywhere, but it's just like a website that you could click through and navigate and kind of experience. Some of them have
random.
some of them have like riddles that you need to solve or puzzles, which I've never
just
been able to
clicked on
solve
a
it
heart.
because it's still in Japanese.
Oh, no.
Oh,
hallway.
dude, a dark hallway.
Okay, it's gonna be loud.
I'm taking.
I'm going
off
to
one
turn down
headphone.
the volume here. Game over. Oh, all right. Well, that's the end of this.
So there's a bunch of jump scenes.
Check your viruses.
Yeah, no kidding, man. You get Norton's now?
You better have that McAfee ready.
So when you go to lomando.com, it is going to give you that pleasant anime chibi looking cat character. Just click on her. And then click on her again, and then it should take you to that website. Okay. And it's just like this creepy, like, ooh.
Don't let your kids do this, though, please.
No, this is it's very like adult theme.
Yeah.
So that's why it's better on a bigger screen rather than on your phone, and just experience it at night. You know, under the covers. You want to get like a spooky little.
Dude, if I played this shit on my phone, I'd be dropping my phone every 5 seconds. Like, what the fuck? Oh God.
Yeah. Putting that outer box to work.
Yeah.
Shit.
Well, is that going to do it for Doom Scrolling with Steph?
I'll do it.
All right. Well, everybody stick around for, we're doing sports.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey man, Tommy Chong here to tell you all about my new business venture. You know, it's important for us men to be responsible and get snipped once we've called it quits on our baby making. It's because of this that I'm proud to introduce Sinsemilla, my very own chain of vasectomy clinics and weed dispensaries. Vasectomies are now made easy at Sinsemilla, man. Come get a snip while taking a rip.